Hello, I'm Chris from Solidonia Organ Service in Pittsburgh. I've been servicing Hammond organs now for about 47 years. This is the Hammond B-3. This is the most popular organ ever built by any organ manufacturer. It was made between 1955 and 1975. That's another thing. Where can you find a product that was so successful that they made it for 20 years? And even though they quit making it in 1975, it's still in demand today, bringing more money than it did when it was brand new. This one had some issues, and we had to take care of it. For one thing, the wiring, the main power wiring, was dry rotted. So we had a fire and shock hazard. So that had to be replaced. This uses a mechanical generator, which means that this organ can never go out of tune. It's always in permanent tune. Mr. Hammond started out as a clock maker. In fact, the first Hammond organs, the model and serial number say the Hammond Clock Company. So he uses a synchronous motor. It doesn't matter if your line voltage goes up or down, it's locked into the 60 cycles. And it had not been oiled for a long time, so it was frozen. So David and I oiled it very well, and after a few days, it's purring like a kitten. The electronics in the preamp, we went through and we tested all the tubes. We replaced any that were bad. We also fused it because back then it passed UL without any fusing, and today we like to make things safe. So we fused it. We also put new filter caps in. The organ used to have a little bit of a hum to it. Now you can hear it's perfectly quiet. We went through and took care of the contacts on the drawbars, cleaning them, replacing any broken contacts. And so we also replaced the cable that goes between the organ and the speaker cabinet because the organ has no amplification of its own. It depends on external cabinetry because you can use one cabinet or 10 cabinets, it doesn't matter. But the cable, like the cabling inside the organ, was dry rotted, so we replaced that with new cable today. On the Leslie speaker cabinet, we put some new bearings in there, we replaced a burnt relay, we replaced capacitors that were past their lifespan, belts, and so now it's mechanically quiet. No static, no hum, no buzz, and now we have a 100% operational Hammond B-3. I hope you enjoy it.
Now, we determined it was 1958, roughly, that this one was made. And so for a 1958 organ to be redone like this, how long do they normally last?
We don't know because usually an instrument, when it starts getting older, parts become unavailable. And Hammond Organ Company actually closed in 1985. The company that's out today is called Hammond Suzuki, and Hammond Suzuki doesn't make any parts for these older organs. But these organs were so popular that other manufacturers such as Trek 2 in New Jersey and CE Distribution out in Arizona have gone into business making parts. So I have worked on Hammonds that have gone back to 1934 when Hammond started, and we can still repair them. So Hammond was the sort of the industry standard that everybody copied. Now they're still in demand. You can look on eBay, you can look on Craigslist and things like that, and you'll still see people looking for Hammond B3s. You'll still see professional organists still using the Hammond B3 like Joey DeFrancesco. I do a lot of churches that use the Hammond because it was built like a truck and it stands up very well and it can still be repaired.
What are they going for? I mean, price-wise, you said that they were...
Well, for example, when they first came out, they were just under $3,000. When they quit making them in 1975, a Hammond B3 was $43.45 for the organ itself, and the speaker cabinet went for about $600, the Leslie. Today, a used B3 with a Leslie can sell anywhere from $6,500 up to $15,000, you know, if it's totally redone. Hammond Suzuki makes what's called the new B3, which looks just like this, only it has a computer guts, which is $30,000. The only problem is their legal liability to supply parts is only 7 years. And there are some Hammonds that were made in the early 2000s to the mid 2000s, which are non-repairable. So I always recommend, if you can get your hands on a good old Hammond, that's what you want to get.